Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, early risers on Facebook.
How is everybody doing?
It's probably too early to say.
Well,
welcome. I'm Andrea Tarr. I'm the program director of SCAN. And my co-host this morning is...
Good morning, Marybeth from SCAN, and I'm the program coordinator. And we have a special guest with us today, Holly Schult from BCB Bank. But before we get to our morning chat, I just would like to mention that our program this morning is being sponsored by Care One. Care One is a family-owned and operated healthcare organization with more than 45 years of experience in service. Their programs include post-hospital care, rehabilitation, assisted living, memory care, long-term care, and a variety of clinical specialty programs. There are 4 locations in Monmouth and Ocean County, which include Wall, Atlantic Highlands, Holmdel, and Jackson. Care One has been challenged with caring for COVID-19 patients, and they are proud to say that as an organization, they have over 2,400 patients who have recovered from the virus. Their protocols have been recognized by the state of New Jersey as best in class. Care One has been here all along, caring for those in need, and they look forward to continuing to serve our communities. And they can be reached at careone.com, which we will include in our comment section. So without any further ado, good morning, Holly.
Good morning, everyone. How is everyone today?
Wonderful.
Thank you it's great to see you.
I know, that's what I've been doing, see you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just let everybody know who I am, for anybody who doesn't. I am
Holly, I'm going to interrupt you very quickly because we forgot to say, Marybeth, you are joining us this morning for SCAN FYI. Okay, now Holly, back to you.
FYI, I'm Holly Schult, and I'm the branch manager and business development officer with BCB Bank, community bank located right here in Holmdel. And we are a very proud supporter of SCAN and all the work and everything that you do for the community at your facility. Can't wait to be able to come back in and see everybody in person.
It's going to be a while, folks. It's going to be a while.
Yeah. And I've done a presentation in the past before on your YouTube channel. Was very happy to do that on scams. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is an ongoing conversation about that.
Right. Because sadly, there is never a shortage of people willing to take advantage of not only senior citizens, but that's always our main focus. And during this whole pandemic, there's a whole other group of scams and fraud things that have come to the surface. So that is specifically what we wanted to talk about today. So Holly, go ahead.
So as there's the ongoing scams that have continued year after year after year because they've been so successful. But the new ones that have come out are playing on everybody's fears about COVID-19. Also exaggerating and playing on the need for financial income from the CARES Act and the stimulus packages that were out. So the most common ones that I am seeing right now, I personally I have 3 different email addresses for 3 different purposes, and on all 3 of them, I received an email today to get my stimulus money quicker. I'm not entitled to stimulus money, but to get my money quicker, to click on this link. Please don't do that. The IRS and the US Treasury are not expediting anybody's stimulus money based on an email. The stimulus money is being sent via check, via direct deposit, or debit card directly from the US Treasury. So any email links are just a ploy to get your personal information. Don't click, just delete.
Actually, you know what, can we also just mention the fact is that the IRS simply does not email you ever.
No.
They're going to send you
something
in the mail. They don't call you, they don't email, ever.
They will send you a subpoena, but they're not going to send you an email.
Correct. Okay.
And there's also the fake miracle cures. One of the things that I have found is that everybody is so unsure about what COVID-19 means for them and their families and so forth, that they're kind of looking for anything that's positive on the outside. And there are a lot of emails and texts, because in case anybody hasn't noticed, you're probably getting a lot of solicitations on your phone recently, more than ever before, coming through as text messages and even robocalls, that this is a proven cure. There is no cure, okay? When the CDC and the World Health Organization, all doctors and scientists are saying, we're still studying, that little bottle for $19.99 that's being advertised as a miracle cure is fake. And again, it's just a way to get your money and delete. That's what I say. Don't click, delete. Also, playing on the fears that people have these days about income and money. So there's more and more investment scams. Now, investment scams I've seen for years. Everybody's always looking to make their money go a little further, stretch a little further. I've always said, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. My own mom fell for one just the other day about her mortgage. I was like, you're supposed to call me before you call any of these solicitations. And it turns out it was just a solicitation to try and get her to give information. At least she didn't do that, but it was a fake investment scam. That we can give you a 6% return on your money when most banks aren't giving anything over 0.5%. Sounds like a great deal, right? But too good to be true, probably is. I think some of the other ones are tech support with everybody working from home, like we're doing this via Zoom, right? We got the, what did you call it earlier, Andrea? The Brady Bunch screen, right? You've got all of us up. People using computers and so forth more often, they're getting a lot of tech support scams. We can clear up your images. You have to give us remote access to your computer. If you don't know who you're talking to, you do not give anybody access to your computer. Once they have remote access, or they say, I'm going to send you an email, click on the link. Don't click, delete, and hang up. Okay, if anybody who's bought a computer knows that you can get those service contracts when you buy your computer. So you should only let your service contractor work on your computer, not somebody who's just offering to make your screen clearer or allow you to have more people on your Zoom meeting.
And Holly, do these people make any kind of claim like they're from Microsoft or they're
They will. The emails and so forth they'll look legitimate. They'll have the little apple, from an Apple for Macintosh, and they'll have the little W and for Windows, and they will look legitimate, but there's a little something off in a lot of these. Your best bet and the safest way, because nobody can be 100% sure of what they're looking at any time. I can say that from a financial standpoint, banks are never going to send you an email asking for your personal information. The IRS is never going to send you an email asking for personal information. So even if you received something from your bank or your IRS and it's asking for that, to delete it, because we just don't do it. Yes, I get sales emails from Microsoft all the time, and some of them are legit. And the fake ones look almost the same. So it's really difficult. Again, if you don't have a contract, don't allow anybody into your computer. It's, through your antivirus software, you should have a service contract. So if you have, I don't know, say Norton, that's the first one that came to my mind. You should have an 800 number for Norton. That's who you call. Don't let anybody other than who you are sure of into your computer. And then the other one that is really sad is the charity scams are at full force right now. These are donation scams. for people that have extra, or even if don't have extra, but feel bad for the neighbor, or empathetic that their neighbor with 3 kids lost their jobs and they're struggling for food. Everybody wants to help. Donate through the charities that you are sure of. Don't fall for those phone calls. They're getting your bank account information, or they're telling you to send them prepaid debit cards. That money's never reaching who you think you're helping. Go to your local charity. There's so many local organizations that are doing such great work. Go with the people that you know, or go with a recommendation from a family member. Don't fall for those robocalls and those emails. And everybody does. It happens. Unfortunately, they keep coming up because people are generous and people have good hearts and people are trusting. And that's how these scams go through.
Holly, I know when you did a workshop at SCAN, one of the nice tidbits that you gave people was when they're getting phone calls, if they don't recognize the caller, let it go to voicemail and don't get caught up in that phone conversation. And then you can always call them back.
Right. So when now most people have caller ID, or if you have your TV on, the phone number comes up at the top of your TV, right? If you don't know the number, if you don't know who's calling, you're not obligated to pick up your phone. And a legitimate company, a legitimate call will leave you a legitimate voicemail. You don't have to return calls for people that nowadays they're actually, I've been getting phone calls that actually say scam ?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. It actually comes up on caller ID that way.
I had a call, it was last night. And, we have our calls, Marybeth, we have whatever that app is at work, so that anyone who calls me at work, it rings on my cell phone. And I just had a call last night. And that was the first time I saw that. It came up scam.
And it may not be, but at least the FCC is getting a little bit more diligent on being able to regulate some of the robocalls that are coming through, because I love the one that it goes, "Hi, how are you today?" And I'm like, "I don't know you. Bye-bye." If you answer the phone and you realize something's going on that's not right, just hang up. You can be rude. They're being rude by trying to get something out of you. You have every right to be rude right back. Just hang up.
I think it's important for everyone to realize that anything that's legit, they're going to leave you a message. So yes. I get lots of calls, I'm sure, we all do. And if you don't leave me a message, clearly
it wasn't that important.
Right. So you're never getting a call back. Anything legit. And you're right, Holly, too. You're under no obligation to answer the call.
No.
That's fine. If it's a stranger and it's not coming up in your caller ID, let it go.
Yep. If you're unsure, don't be embarrassed to ask somebody. And again, if it's a legitimate call and you say, "I want to think about it," if it's legitimate, they're going to say, "Absolutely, we understand. Please give us a call back," and they'll give you a number. You can always say, "I'll get back to you. I'm not making a commitment today. I'm not interested today." And then ask somebody you trust. "Hey, listen, I got this call," or do your own research for the name of the company that they say they're from. Is it a real company? People are posting information all the time about different types of organizations that they're getting, don't fall for this. I got this email, or I got this phone call. Share with your neighbors, share with each other. That you know that this was not true. So if you get this phone call from this number, don't answer it. If you all share that information, I think everybody is going to be safe. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but never, and I think I said this on our last presentation, never be embarrassed if you do become a victim of a scam. They are good. They are professionals. And if you've fallen victim, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. If you're a victim of a crime, report it to the police, report it to your bank so they can freeze your accounts and close your accounts immediately. But you should always report it to the police. And yes, a lot of times the police will say, this isn't going to go anywhere. But the more reports they get, again, if you see something, say something.
Right,
So
exactly.
the more reports that come in, people tend not to report this type of crime. They just think they're embarrassed that they were a victim, but you are a victim of a crime and it needs to be reported. And the more that are reported, the more seriously legislatures will take this as far as doing something to try and prevent it from happening again.
Now, Holly, will you talk a little bit about the FTC? And again, let me just mention links to reach out to Holly and anything that we're talking about today. Either Marybeth and I, we will put that in the Facebook comments so you don't have to worry about writing it down. We'll take care of that after.
So the FTC is the Federal Trade Commission. You can always get an idea of what's going on with new scams, or the FTC will report a list of anything that they're aware of. So if you go on ftc.gov website and you search, just type in the word scams, and they're going to show you a list of all the most popular scams that are out there. And then you can actually filter it to more related to COVID-19. You can type in COVID scams. You can see the different types that are out there. The lottery scams are still going on. The work from home offers, big one again now, that, you know, we'll send you in advance to go buy supplies and then we'll reimburse you as you go. Those checks are not good. And now you've laid out money that actually is your own money. Hang up, delete emails. If you're on the do not call list and you get phone calls, you report those phone calls.
Right.
I do it once a week. I write down phone numbers that I've gotten that shouldn't be calling and the time that they came in from my caller ID. And once a week I go on the do not call registry and I report the phone calls. When I started doing that, the number of robocalls I get at home started to decrease.
Well, I think people forget that you are entitled to report them, that you, I mean, and you should, right? You absolutely should. Yeah.
The only way to stop it is to report it, like they say. If you
yeah.
see something, say something.
Because it seems, you know, it's an ongoing process. And I feel like we had this conversation 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and we'll still keep having it because it just never goes away.
It never goes away. So again, you know, there's that, there are people out there that just find, you know, the criminal way is the easier way. It's unfortunate, but it's going to always be there. You're always going to have people looking for get rich quick schemes, whether they're legal or not. And, you know, when people are desperate for money, desperate people do desperate things. And it's wrong. And they're taking advantage of people who have good hearts or maybe a little naive or just are unsure that, or they're just scared. So.
Well, Holly, thank you for really all that excellent information. And you know what, before we wrap up, before we went live, you shared with Marybeth and I a little anecdote about your mom and technology. Would you share that?
So yeah, so what I am finding too is that a lot of people who've never wanted to use technology before, never wanted to use an ATM card or online banking or mobile banking, all of a sudden are finding that they need to, and now that they're using it, they find it so much easier and are saying, I wish I did this before. I never realized how easy it is. So don't be afraid to use your banks, your investment companies, your retirement companies' websites to look and manage your money and to manage your finances. Because if you're going through their websites, you're secure and you are protected. It's when you go to the outside companies that you're not protected. And I'm saying the debit card, cash is dirty. Cash is the dirtiest thing out there, right? Use your debit card to pay for things. It comes right out of your account, and then you don't have to worry about exchanging cash. Most stores, they don't take your card from you, so you're not even sharing that card with somebody. You're the only one touching it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my mom's computer sat for 8 years as a
Paperweight.
What was I going to say? Paperweight. But nowadays you need to start using more things that are less people are touching, having a little bit less, what are they calling it? The social distancing, and taking little steps to protect yourself.
So we should even be social distancing with our bank.
Yes.
And doing it.
I have more people, the banks have been open, but our lobbies have not. And there are people using the drive-through lanes that never used drive-through before. And it's been fun trying to show people how to get the little canister out of the tube to put their stuff in, and now they're realizing I don't even have to get out of the car. You could either not even have to leave your home because you can take a picture of a check on your phone to deposit it.
So easy.
Or at the very least, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can just come through the drive-through lanes. Yeah. And most banks are starting to reinvest in those services, so to speak, because they're seeing that, we have a whole new world. We do have a whole new world. So those lanes, keep your social distancing and keep yourself safe.
Options. Everyone has options. Explore your options.
That's right. You do. Yeah, it's up to all of us to explore our options because they're out there. So you want to always be safe.
Yes.
Well, Holly, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Care One, for sponsoring this segment. And remember, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr, Program Director at SCAN, and I appreciate you listening to SCAN FYI today. Marybeth?
Yep. Everyone have a great week. We will see you next week. We're waiting for our guest to be confirmed, so we don't have any sneak peeks today.
Okay. And Holly, thank you so much for being with us. We'll put all the contact info on the Facebook comments a little bit later. Thanks,
everybody. Be well and be safe. Thank you.
Right. And use those mobile apps, for goodness sakes. What are you waiting online for? All right. On that happy note, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.